Today, we're gonna be doing a get ready with me, but I'm gonna do it a little bit differently than I've done it in the past. I am going to walk you through my makeup bag, what's in it, every product I have, and then I'm gonna show you how I use it while I'm talking about it. So if you have been following along with my shorts, reels, all of those things, I've been doing a lot of empties lately. And the reason I've been doing this is for 2025, I am trying to work my way through products I already own. And I actually talked about the idea of maybe doing like a makeup clean out because I have a feeling that I have a good amount of makeup that I have not touched in a long while that is probably expired or needs to be thrown away. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you would like to see that video. But for today, we're gonna walk through what is actually in this makeup bag that I use on a daily basis. This stays in my bathroom. I pull it out. It's what I grab for on a daily basis. We're going to talk about two different looks. We're going to walk through my daily, everyday look, and then I'm also going to take you through my more what you're seeing here, recording, going out for a date night type of looks. I will also walk you through the brushes I use, and then the last thing is I'm going to talk you through what's left in the bag, what I think of it, if I use it, if I don't, and whether or not it needs to stay in this bag. First, I want to start off by talking about two items that I don't keep in my makeup bag that I keep with my skincare and explain why they're there. And these two items are these two right here. The first one being this, which is from Tarte, and it is a creaseless corrector, and I have this in the light peachy pink color. Specific color names I will put down here somewhere, but I put this on when I'm done my skincare under my eyes so that it just kind of sets in and brightens up. And then every single time before I'm getting ready during the day, this is my go-to. It is from City Lips. It is their lip plumping gloss, by far the best one on the market I have ever tried. Doesn't sting, it doesn't burn, it isn't pepperminty, it doesn't tingle, it just goes on beautifully. It helps to fill in any lines, plump up your lips. It is so good. And I use the clear one when I'm doing that, and then I use tinted ones throughout the day or things like that. But this clear one is something that I always go back to, and I have been using it again since, I want to say in the fall, I started using these again, and I love them. I forget how much I love them. Now, the first thing I do might seem a little bit backwards, but I use this from Smashbox. It's the Always On Cream Shadow in the color Rose. This is not rose as in pinky. It's kind of peachy with a little bit of a pink undertone to it, but not much at all. This stays on beautifully. I just use it right in the crease, and it gives just a nice look to the eyes without them just seeming very flat. I just love this. It takes the tiniest amount of this. It's such a great product. Then I go in with a concealer, and this is where I have been trying to use up products that maybe aren't my favorite one for under eye, or I had purchased and just didn't fall in love with it and didn't use it. Now this one is a more recent one. I have some that I need to go back to that are sitting in a drawer. However, I purchased this one recently. I should probably try it under my eyes. It is from Fenty Beauty, but I use this. I have a lot of discoloration in through my jawline. So I put it on my jawline, put it in the center of my forehead, down my nose, around the edges of my nose that get red, especially at this time of year, and then down in my chin area. Now, I only do this during the daytime just to give me a little bit of coverage on my face. Then I go in with the ISDIN Photo. It is their tinted SPF. I love this. It is so nice. Comes in a squeeze tube. You can put it on with your hands or with a sponge, whatever you prefer. I just like the sponge because it's just easier. I use this over that concealer, so that is going to give me my sunscreen and give me just a little bit of a tint or coverage in those areas where I didn't feel like I needed it, but just needs a little bit of something. Then I go in under my eyes. So far, this is my favorite concealer that I've used under the eyes. It is from Hourglass. It is like the Vanishing light something. And I simply use this right in the area from my inner tear duct, just down a little bit, and then right in that outer corner. And I use that and tap it in and kind of lift up to clean up that cream shadow and to just bring it up. And then I bring anything up over the eyebrow as well, just to kind of create a highlight there. So this is my go-to for under eyes, but I should probably give this a try and see what I think of it, and maybe use a product I don't like as much as that more highlighter or skin tone color. Every winter I go back to this, and it is the Tarte Blush Tape in the color Berry. Now, this is a sponge tip applicator. You can dab it on and then blend it in. I've done that with a sponge before. As of recently, I've actually been squeezing it up and using a brush to apply it. It's much more direct and not as concentrated. Now, the reason I love this in the winter is because it gives a little bit of color and then a little bit of highlight. It has just a very, very slight sheen to it and just gives a nice healthy glow. I will forewarn you, this packaging is a little bit messy. You can turn this, open and close it. It just seems to make a mess. I've tried everything. I have multiple backups of this because I generally get it when it's on some sort of sale, but I'm going to work my way through products I already have. But this one I already had open, so I'm using this. Then I'm going to try and use up products I already have, and then I will go to my backups unless I use up one of the things that I'm trying to use up, and I love it even more. Then I take some powder to set under my eye. I set under my eye. This is a little sample size. I just refill it. I keep it in here. It's all I really need. I use it with a very small brush, and I just set right under the eyes, again up over that brow bone, and then down around the outer corner of my nose, where again at this time of year, I'm blowing my nose. It's cold out, so my concealer breaks down a little bit more through there, but I use this to do a more concentrated set, and I don't get it up really, really high under the eye. I just kind of keep it a little bit lower. And this, to me, because it is a translucent powder with no color to it, sets under the eyes a little bit better. Then to set my face, my all-time favorite powder is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the color medium. And in the summers I use medium plus, but I used one up. I do have 2 backups of it, but I'm trying to use up other powders I have first and work my way through those. So I have been using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish in the color 1. Oop, get it open. This is what it looks like. It is very similar to the MSF. This one, you know what? They both give a very similar finish. So it just depends on what you like, what you're looking for. I feel like the MAC one maybe has just a touch more pigmentation to it, but both of them beautiful options, and I don't mind using this up. However, I do prefer the MAC if I have a choice between these two. Next, I do take a Q-tip. My eyebrows are microbladed. I take the Q-tip, I wet one side and go over them, then flip it over, use the dry side, and use that to take off any powder, concealer, tinted SPF, shadow, whatever might be in my brows, and then I don't put anything else on my brows during the day. Next, I do curl my lashes with an eyelash curler, just kind of crimp it. I am going to show you all my brushes later, but my go-to tool for doing this is the Surratt lash curler, and then I just buy replacement pads for it and replace them once a month or so, give or take. Curl both sides of my lashes. Then I go in with an eyeliner on my waterline. So that is the inner part under your lashes of your eye. I do this because I don't want a whole lot of eyeliner look, but for me personally, putting that eyeliner on my waterline really opens up my eyes and creates a thicker, darker lash line looking. I am currently using up in the color Demolition. It's fine. My go-to waterline eyeliner is from Wonder 2 Beauty in the brown color. Love that. I do have a half of one I found downstairs in my vanity and a full backup of this. But as I mentioned, trying to use other products up, this one is a great, great, great option. And if I couldn't get the Wonder 2, this would be the one I would use, but I prefer the Wonder 2. Then I go in with my holy grail, must have. I do not have backups of any other brands. The Urban Decay Subversion Lash Primer. I do have 1 or 2 backups of this. Again, when I say backups, I'm talking about products that I know I love that went on sale, or there was a sale going on, Nordstrom, Sephora, Ulta, whatever, and I pick some up because I know I love it. I love this because it has a lash strengthening treatment to it, which helps keep your lashes very full and strengthened. And then it also is an amazing primer for any mascara you are using. Now, my go-to for during the day mascara for years has been the Tarte Tartelette mascara, the classic one in the purple tube. I have used that for years. It is a tubing mascara. A tubing mascara for me personally works better on my lashes, and I love it with a primer because it actually creates tubes on your lashes so it's waterproof or water resistant, and it comes off with warm water. So you don't need heavy cleansers, you don't have to rub and tug. It comes off so nicely and so easily and just really gives beautiful, beautiful lashes. However, I will say recently this was sent to me by Milk Makeup, and it is their Kush High Roll Mascara, which is also a tubing mascara. The brush is pretty much just like the Tarte one. It is plastic bristles, and it starts wider and goes down more narrow to the end. I love this. I will say they are very, very, very comparable to each other. I do have 1, maybe 2 backups of the Tarte Tartelette that I will use up, but to be honest, between the 2, whichever one I can get on sale or get a deal on will be the one I use because they pretty much give me the same results. For my lips, I had that City Lips lip plumper on it. During the day, I just want a little bit of color to my lips. And I have been using for probably, I go on and off every winter, the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick. It's kind of in a mauve-y color. It's nothing like jump out at you. It's my lips, but better with a little bit of a mauve-y pink undertone to it. It sits nicely over that City Lips. It stays great. It's not drying. It's not crazy. I really just like this for an everyday kind of tint. Now, I will say a lot of times after I've let that sit down and dry, I go do other things around the house. I will then put on City Lips, one that has more of a shine to it, has a little bit of color to it. It just gives a little bit extra on top throughout the day. This is what I grabbed for. I don't remember if I put this on after I got ready in the video, but this is my go-to kind of lip gloss for a daily basis. I will say I have these in different colors. I have them in my purse. I have them in my jacket. I have them by my back door. I have them all over the place, and they're really good. Now let's talk about my more when I'm recording, when I'm going out to an event, when I'm going on a date night, or just more than my everyday look, how I change it up. Now I start this out a lot of times during the day. We'll start this out by saying on those days when I do my morning get ready, if I know I'm going to possibly be going somewhere in the evening, I will use, instead of the Milk Makeup, I will use the Tarte Tartelette XL, which is what I have on today. And it's a more voluminous, kind of more false lash look of a mascara than the original Tartelette or the Milk Kush one. This is great. I do have some backups of this. I could use this on a daily basis. However, I don't feel the need to have my lashes quite to that extreme. If you only wanted one, this is perfectly acceptable. I just like having a range of them. And so I will use this in the morning, say on a Friday or Saturday when I know there's a chance I'm going somewhere that evening. So when I'm going to get ready later in the day, I take a wet washcloth, no soap on it, no anything, with warm water, and I just wipe off all of my makeup with a washcloth, and then I put on some moisturizer and some under eye cream. Just let it set in for a little bit, and then I do my makeup. So my mascara is the only thing I'm really not taking off because I don't want to do a full wash my face. So I do remove all of the makeup, but start over with the moisturizer and the under eye cream. I then again start back over with that Tarte Creaseless Corrector and the City Lips Lip Plumper on my lips before I do any makeup. As far as eyes, I don't really scrub Smashbox Cream Shadow off from earlier in the day. I just kind of go around it. Whatever is left there is fine. I do use right now this Tom Ford Eye Color Quad, and it has beautiful colors because it has a beautiful light color to it, but then it has more of your kind of peachy undertone and a pinky undertone, and then a little bit darker, almost on the brick side kind of color. I do use the lightest color and place it on my lid, kind of neutralizing anything that might be there. And then I use this more pinky, plummy tone. Sometimes I dip into both of them. I use this specifically in the crease and work it in with a fluffy brush. Then I will take a little bit of the brick color, put it just in that outer corner, really work it in, and then also bring it down and under my eyes to just smoke it out just a little bit. After I've done the eyeshadow, I take the MAC eyeliner. I think it's in the color, oh, I thought it was Teddy. It isn't. It is Costa Riche, and this is a brown eyeliner, kind of a bronzy color, and I'm gonna go right down at my lash line. So I'm gonna really work it into that lash line there. And again, same as I had talked about before, I'm using this to create, I do have it on today, a fuller lash line, a little bit more of a smoked out look for nighttime. This is a more stiff pencil than the Urban Decay. So this is very easy to keep exactly where you want it. Whereas if I had tried using that Urban Decay on the top lash line, it's a little bit softer, which is great for the waterline, but not so great for putting on the lash line for me personally. Now, as far as foundations, when I'm going out, I have one of two different ones. Love this, it is new to me. Love this for so many years. This is the third bottle over the years I have purchased. It lasts a really long while, and it's crazy pricey. This is not, but it's so good. This is a little bit more moisturizing, has a little bit more kind of similar qualities to the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, to give you an idea. This color match just for me in the winter is better. This one is when I want more coverage. I'm not looking for as much of a dewy look. I can place the highlighter where I want, but both of them, absolutely beautiful. Love them so much. I cannot say enough good things about these two. Today, let's use this one and get ready, because when it's cold out, I could use a little bit extra hydration and kind of skincare mixed in with my foundation. Now, when I am applying that foundation, I do use a makeup sponge. I put a pump or two pumps into it, just depending, kind of dot it around my face, and then tap it, bounce it. Bouncing is probably a better word. Bounce it into my skin and really work it in. I go up around my ears. I go down along my jawline. You want to make sure everything blends nicely. I go up and make sure I work into my hairline and really blend it all in. After I'm done that, the next step I do is I use this Rare Beauty bronzer. It is a stick bronzer. It is at the end of its life. As I mentioned, I have a few others in different brands that I'm going to try and use up first. But this is one I will go back to. I do not have a backup of this one yet. I simply put this on in the areas that I want to kind of give that either contour or the appearance of the sun hitting my face. This is a beautiful color for my skin tone as it is right now. I find in the winter I do better with a cream bronzer because it's a little bit more direct areas. When I use a powder, it's a little bit more blown out and bronzy looking, which works better for me in the summer than in the winter. Then I go back in with that Hourglass concealer. I'm not using this kind of like I did previously during the day, like my lower jawline or the center of my forehead, because the foundation balanced these out for me. So the only place I'm using this is under my eyes, where I really didn't go with that foundation. The concealer is a better product that is made for under the eyes. So again, I do that one swipe and the swipe over to the side, and I tap those in very easily. Again, bringing it up over that brow bone. I find that that just creates a little bit of a dimension and a highlight. Then for blush, I do more of a layering effect in the evening. And I've been using this Milk Makeup. This is like a lip cheek think you can use it on your eyes. I don't really remember. In a really beautiful, dark kind of plummy color. It looks scary on here, guys. It is not, I promise you. You're gonna lightly go over it with a brush. Now, I like this versus the Tarte when I'm getting ready at night because I'm going to put highlight where I want it, kind of layer this out a little differently. So I stipple this on specifically at the apples of my cheeks, and then I bring it up a little bit. I do always put a little bit, I don't know if I mentioned this with the Tarte, right at the top of my hairline where my part is too, because the sun would naturally hit me there. It just, again, creates a little bit of dimension. Then again, I go in with that Makeup Forever HD powder. Any translucent powder would work that you like. Set under the eyes just lightly with a brush. And then I take right now that Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder. I use this all over my face to set all of those cream products that I had in. So my bronzer, my blush, my foundation, all of it. And it just really sets everything very nicely. Then I go in and put some blush on. Hourglass Ambient Light in the color Luminous Flush. Again, a beautiful pink color. I do well, especially at this time of year, in more pink tones. So I'm just kind of putting this on the apples, again, in that one specific area. And then whatever's left on the brush, I kind of blend it out, and again, at that forehead. Then, as I mentioned, I want to put the highlight where I want it when I have more coverage to my face. So I take this Laura Mercier, it's a highlighter called Rose Glow. I have no idea if they make it or not anymore. It is beautiful. It just works again with my skin tone, that more rosy undertone, more so than a bronzy or a yellow based one. And I'm just putting this right at my cheekbone. Then I take a little bit on my Cupid's bow, a little bit on the edge of my nose. I run it right up on that brow bone to create a little bit of highlight, and whatever's left goes right in the inner corner. Then I go through with my eyelash curler. Keep in mind, my lashes already have that mascara on it. I kind of crimp them just a little bit, not as much as what I would do in the morning, just to give myself some additional lift to that. Then I go back in with that Urban Decay liner, really kind of smudge out that waterline. Then I finish up with lips. I did use two, it's Pat McGrath Labs. It's like their lip crayon, but it's like a long wearing one in two different colors. I use the darker color to go around and kind of use it as a lip liner, and I'm outlining my lips. And then I use the lighter color to fill that in. And because they're super creamy, they blend together very, very nicely and create kind of an ombre look a little bit. They're very nice together. These two together are definitely more on the peachy side than the pink side. This one, the lighter of the two, is more pink, but this has more of kind of, again, that brick undertone to it. And when they go together, they kind of create a little bit on the more peachy side. So it depends on my mood. And then I let that set for just a minute or two because I don't want to put something on right away. However, I do one of two things. Either I put on that City Lips from earlier that you saw if I want some reflection, because these are matte, or if I want something that's a little bit just more shine to it than reflection, I use the Hourglass. I think they're called the Phantom Lip Plumping Balm. This is in the color Sense. It's the more pinky tone. And I just put that on over top of it. It creates a beautiful shine with a nice color. I love these. I have backups of these in two colors, Sense and another one that's like a little bit more of a nude color. Of my lip products, the City Beauty is a little bit more, I have it on right now, a little bit more, it stays, right? That's the best way to say it. It's not tacky. It doesn't give you remember those old MAC lip glosses that like you went like that and you felt like your lips were stuck together? It doesn't give you that, but it really stays on your lips for a long, long while. This one doesn't stay on as long, but gives you a nice, more lip balm feel. That's it. The City Lips is more of a gloss. This is more of a balm. Now I'm going to talk to you about the tools and brushes that I keep in my bag. And I'll tell you a little bit of what I use them for. Tweezers. I always have tweezers in my bag because I use them just to clean anything up. I always have this Pat McGrath Labs lip pencil sharpener or eyeliner sharpener. It has a larger hole and a smaller hole. I have tried so many sharpeners, guys. I bought this one when I got those lip crayons. I don't know why, it was spur of the moment. I have others, but this is so, so, so good. I can keep it in there, it keeps everything clean. I love that. We talked about my eyelash curler. That is my Surratt lash curler. Love that. I do not tend to, unless I'm traveling, keep this in my bag. This is usually in with my skincare because as I'm doing my skincare, I dampen my sponge. But this, I love the Real Techniques makeup sponges. I think they are better than any others I've tried. Now, let's talk about brushes I keep in my bag. This is from Hourglass. It is the number 4. This is a crease brush. I use this for cream shadow. This is what I use to put that Smashbox on. Then I carry 2 Tarte brushes they're double-sided. It makes it easier. I have less brushes in my case, but if you can find a dual-ended brush, it's a great idea. Let's talk about what I use for my concealer. I use this brush from Hourglass. It does not have a number on it. It's kind of a slanted, very dense brush. Very nice for tapping the product exactly where you want it. I like the fact that it has more of a rounded area here, but then a flat side to it. That, for me personally, makes it so I can get under the lash line very nicely. Then I also use this IT Cosmetics, I think it's a concealer brush, and I use this for the powder to set under my eyes. I actually usually at the end of when I'm done my makeup, take it and just kind of do one last swipe to get rid of any powder that might settle under my eyes. Cream products, I have 2 brushes. This is a Sephora Pro Angled Contour number 75. This is very similar to that concealer brush where it is circular, so it's great for getting right on the apples. However, the edges are much more, it's not like a ball. It's definitely more precise. So I love, love, love this for a cream blush and getting it exactly where I want it on those apples. For my bronzer, I use this Tarte brush. I think I bought this in a set. I don't know if it's sold separately with those Tarte Shape Tape blushes, but I love this for cream bronzer because it really, really just keeps that area very condensed and exactly where I want it. This is a very dense brush, very nice. This brush is one of my all-time favorite brushes. It is from Hourglass. It is sold separately. I know that. It does not have a number on it. It is a dual-sided brush. This one is a little bit more tapered. This one is a little bit more flat. I use this to just stipple my powder on. It's great. It also is great on the more tapered side for getting around any areas you might need it. Love this brush. I like a more dense, smaller brush for my powder. It's just what works for my face. Blush brush, this is an IT Cosmetics as well. I think it's called a blush brush. It's an angled one. Again, that angle works great for really getting the blush just right on the apples, and then you can use it to blend out. Love this. I think this one is from Ulta. Then this brush is a Sephora Pro 98. I have no idea what it's originally for. I actually love this for a highlighter. Again, I don't use a big fluffy brush for highlighter because I really want to get it right where I want it, but then also have the ability to use it in other areas that are smaller. Love this. The last brush is a brush, I think it's from Bobbi Brown. I might be wrong. Yeah, it's a blush brush from Bobbi Brown. I had this in my bag. I was using this when I was using a powder bronzer. It really gives me a nice look, gives me a nice blown out look. To be honest, I don't need this one in my makeup bag right now, so I can take this one out. So we are down to the end of my bag. This is what is left in the bag, and I'm going to talk you through this. Just as I mentioned about that bronzer blush I talked about, I had this bronzer in here. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the color number 2. As you can see, it is well used and loved. I love this for a powder bronzer. However, right now, as I mentioned, I'm not using that powder bronzer as much, so this can actually go back in my vanity until I'm ready to use it again. This is an old Trish McEvoy palette. I don't even know if she makes them like this anymore. This is actually, it has 2 layers. So I've got one here, and then there is a layer below it right here. Some of these are old Trish McEvoy shadows. Some of these are old Mary Kay shadows. And then these are some MAC shadows. These are ones that I kind of, when I need something more than the 4 in that Tom Ford palette that I gravitate towards, this I always like to have in there because it kind of encompasses, no matter where I am, any look that I decide to do, I can do with this. I'm gonna talk about the one eye product left in here. So this is the Lancome, I think it's called the Art Liner. Yes, it is. And it's in the dark brown color. It is a liquid eyeliner. I was on a kick there for a while where I was using liquid liner on my top line. Right now, when I'm paler, I find as if that's a little bit too harsh. So this can go away. I don't need to be carrying it around with me. Now let's talk about some lip products. We're going to talk lip liners. And then, you know what? First, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with these 3 items because they are reds. And during the holidays, I wore red lip all the time. And I still love a red lip, but I have to be in the mood for it. And so I have 2 red lip liners I love. I love the Ruby Woo from MAC, and then it's a Sephora one. I cannot find the name on this one. And the Sephora one's a little bit creamier and a thicker line. And the MAC, similar to the eyeliners, is a little bit drier and harsher. If I want a very precise line, I go with this one. If I want a softer line, I go with this one. My go-to red lipstick, which is MAC Russian Red. This just works for my skin tone when I want a red lip. It is not super moisturizing, as a heads up, but it's the best red I've tried. And then I also always have, we talked about the City Lips, guys, the lip plumper. This red one, I can wear this alone. I can wear it with a lip liner. I can wear it layered with a lip liner, lipstick, and this. This is, again, the best red ever. And this helps the red lip stay on for longer. Because we all know a faded red lip does not look good on anybody. This, you can just keep applying and it just brings it back to life. It is stunning. Now let's talk more of my nude lips. These are some of my go-to things. I have the Huda Beauty lip liner in muted pink. This is one that you actually twist up and it has a tiny, tiny, tiny little sharpener down at the end here. Love this color. It is one of my favorites. It actually is what I have on today. So good. MAC Whirl. If you have been around here since the original OG Brick Walls days, MAC Whirl has been a lip liner of choice for me for so many years. Again, we are talking 2 different types of consistencies. The Huda is much smoother, creamier, is not quite as precise. The MAC lip liners are a little bit more of a hard pencil, not as soft, and gives you an exact line. So both have their purposes. Then I also have this one. It is from Maybelline and it's the Lifter liner. I cannot even read the color of this. This is one you sharpen. This is similar in color to the other 2. I probably don't need all 3 in there, but every once in a while I grab for this one. It doesn't keep up that much space. Then I also have this in there. It is the NARS, I think they're called the Pigmented Lip Tints or Lip Stains. It's a very nudie colored lip. If I am in the mood for a nude lip, and when I say nude lip, I mean on me, it has a little bit of a pink undertone to it. It is just my favorite nude lip that I use. Then in here, I do have 6 little lipsticks going across here. The first one, this is one of my go-tos. I use this all the time and I don't even know if they make it anymore. It is the Clinique, I think they used to be called the Pops, Lip Pops, I don't know. The color is Bear Pop. It just is the perfect amount of a sheen and a shimmer, but it's moisturizing and has a tint. I just love this. I also then always carry one of these with me. It is from Runway Rouge, and I forget the name of the color. It is just a really, really, really pretty shimmer. And when I just want a little bit of texture or shimmer in the center of my lip, I put this on. It just stays so beautifully. I love this. I used to love their lipsticks. I have a bunch downstairs. I should probably check those. I also have one very similar from Anastasia. This one has a little bit more, the other one is a little bit more of a blue undertone. This one is a little bit more of a natural or peachy undertone. Do I need to carry both? No, but I love them both for different. I will say this, the Runway Rouge is a little bit more drying. The Anastasia is a little bit more creamy. The last three, this one I think is from Gucci. This is what I actually have on today. I love it at this time of year. It's a beautiful mauve color, very creamy, very nice. There is no shimmer to this though. So this is when sometimes I either put, today I have the City Lips in Nude York over it, or I can put that Anastasia or that Runway Rouge. Then this one has been a go-to for so many years. And it is a MAC lipstick in the color Syrup, a little bit more pink than the Gucci one I just showed, but again, it is more matte, not in texture and color. It doesn't have a sheen to it. More recently, I picked this one up. Not sure what I think of it. It's Makeup by Mario. Don't know what the color is. This one for me, it's supposed to be a mauve, but it has a little bit more of kind of a brick undertone to it. I don't know. I'm playing with this one still. Don't love it, don't hate it. That is everything in here. I am going to talk to you. I have two little pockets here that I'm going to show you real quick. I do keep in one of the side pockets a thing of my eye drops and then 2 hair clips to clip my hair back if I'm doing it. These are just in here for when I travel so I don't forget them. And then in the center pouch here is where I keep Q-tips so that if I am getting ready and I'm on the go, I have them. And I keep a little face razor just in case I have to clean anything up. So that's it. That's everything that is in my makeup case, what I use daily, how I use it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I thought it was fun to do it a little bit differently. Let me know what you think of this style of video if you liked seeing it. And if you have questions on any of these products that I showed you today or how I use them, if I didn't mention something, please let me know. And I hope you have a great weekend.